So I know some people are going to slam this episode immediately because, one, there's no action. And you don't always need action, and I hate to always have to come in here and clarify that for people. You don't. You don't always need action, period. It just is what it is. So with this episode, two of the major things, two of the things I felt was most strong points of the episode. One, the conversation between Deku and Todoroki. Two, the conversation between All Might and Endeavor. And of course, at the end of the episode, we got the setup to get into the one-on-one matches, which is some of the juice and some of the meat of this season of My Hero Academia. So let's start off with talking about the conversation between Deku and Todoroki, because it's a really defining point to diving into who Todoroki is as a character. And I love this one line that Deku says, and I felt as though it's such a strong line to the point where it's like, yeah, it's true that Todoroki, his backstory that we find out in this episode, almost makes it like he's the main character of this comic book. Like, because Todoroki, we find out in this episode, his mother burned half of his face. We don't get all of the details in there, but we know that his mother burned half his face. Pretty much that's one of the major reasons why. I'm assuming that he doesn't want to use his other side because of his father. Also, we know that his father pushes him very heavily. And it was interesting because between these two conversations that Endeavor was having with All Might and Deku was having with Todoroki, we kind of get more of the entire picture. It's like we have one thing going on here, one thing going on here, but if you relate both of the information that we got from each conversation, it kind of pieces it to, okay, now I look like a cornball, like, hey, I love you, mate, I love you. No, but, you know, getting the information, because based on what Endeavor was saying to All Might, I'm going to make my son, and, you know, the reason I created him to begin with is to pass you, motherfucker. Hulk Hogan, we coming for you. Okay, let me stop before they end up, yeah, screw me over here for saying, yeah. But nevertheless, getting that information, plus what we hear from Todoroki, what he's telling Deku in the episode, you can kind of assume, like, okay, so Todoroki's had a crazy life, and again, like, I wouldn't be surprised, and, you know, in an alternate reality, Todoroki might have been the main character of this show. I mean, he got the cool design, he looks cool as shit, he got a kind of tragic backstory, especially in comparison to Deku, which is what makes Deku a break away from the norm, because Deku is kind of like, yeah, it is cliche at the same time as well, like, hey, I don't have powers, I want to work my way up and stuff like that, but in comparison to Todoroki that has this tragic backstory and stuff like that, like, Todoroki is, I feel, classic anime-ish in a way regarding, like, you know, sad backstory or whatever, like, because Deku's backstory is just, hey, I don't got powers, but I'm going to work hard to get my powers. So a little bit different, and again, I love that line that Deku was saying in the narration and whatnot regarding Todoroki and whatnot. And I mean, as a whole, it's like, shit, I feel bad for Todoroki. His dad was a cunt. And of course, Endeavor with All Might. Endeavor is very bitter, because we find out, which I think we already knew for a while now, but this episode more so tells us again that Endeavor is the number 2 hero, and he's been number 2 for a long time. So clearly he wants to pass All Might, but you got to think for a second. He wants to pass All Might, but he created his son to pass All Might, which means that he doesn't believe in himself. Essentially, he's trying to live vicariously through his son, and even in this episode, he's pretty much a scumbag saying he's in the rebellious stage right now, but don't worry, I'm gonna whip this little motherfucker Daddy 05 style, you know what I'm saying? Here's the funny thing though, because you gotta think for a second, if Endeavor is resting all of his hopes and dreams on his son, because again, he's pretty much at this point accepted, yeah, I'm probably not gonna pass All Might, but maybe my son can do it, then you gotta think for a second, how long is he expecting this to go on? Because as of right now, Todoroki is just a fledgling. He's not even a full-on hero or anything like that. So is he expecting in 10 years from now for Todoroki? Is All Might even going to still be a hero in 10 years? Like, Endeavor, he got to be really bitter, and it makes you really wonder, what did All Might do to him? Is it just the fact that he can't pass him, so he's being a little bitch about it? Because if it's just the fact, hey, I can't pass this guy, so I'm going to trust my son within the next, I don't know, 10, 20 years to pass him. It's kind of like, you're sad. You're betting on a long-term thing just to pass him, and it's not even on your own merit. So it kind of really makes you look at almost, I want to say the word would be petty. Is it petty? Yeah. It feels as though Endeavor is petty with his quest in surpassing All Might. I mean, he's making his son, that doesn't even like him. His son is like, yo, bro, eat one of these and shove it. And he's like, he's just rebelling right now. He may hate my guts. He may not like me. He may think I'm a scumbag, but he's going to do it. So even if Todoroki, you got to think from a moral standpoint, a logical standpoint, even if Todoroki did surpass All Might and became the #1 hero, that's not because of you. Just because you busted a good nut doesn't mean that, he's all of his achievements are your achievements. No, that's his stuff, and especially the fact that if he don't use any of Endeavor's powers to begin with, so Endeavor, I don't know, his logic is flawed. Like, if he would have a bond with his son, and his son would have accepted the same ideals as him, it'd be a different story, but whatever Todoroki accomplishes is no bearing on you, motherfucker. Like, yo, that's like me, having a wank and it happens to ruin the sheets or something like that. Like, hey, I don't even know where the fuck I was going with that. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. Endeavor, Todoroki's accomplishments aren't yours. But honestly, that was the best stuff of the episode. As it continued and progressed, it was okay, really just diving slowly more into things. I think Bakugo hearing Todoroki's backstory was kind of an interesting touch. I don't know exactly, because again, my memory's fuzzy. It's been a while. How Bakugo is going to react to this information. Is he going to be more soft on Todoroki? Is he going to be harder? Is he going to say, bro, just do your thing? Because we know the difference between Bakugo and Todoroki is that Todoroki, they're similar in a sense because they kind of have that asshole-ish allure, so to speak. But Todoroki's is more so on a tragic standpoint, and Bakugo is more so, hey, I'm just an asshole, you know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to see how he takes in that information. And also we get to see a little bit more of what Todoroki thinks of everybody that's involved in there. So kind of some interesting stuff as a whole. I felt as though this episode was giving us some really good exposition and some good characterization of who Todoroki truly is and why he is the way he is. And again, like I said in last week's episode, if Todoroki used that other side, motherfuckers will be dead. Motherfuckers will be destroyed because, Todoroki, a beast. Then towards the end of the episode, we get the beginning of the fight between Deku and that one dude, I forget his name, the creepy looking motherfucker, because we got, leading up to that point, I guess let's talk real quickly, a lot of people dropping out. They were just like, well, not a lot of people, I think it was 2. They were like, we can't hack it, which honestly it was like, I guess, giving that Shikamaru from Naruto-esque type of deal, like, I made it this far, I know I can't win, like, when he fought Temari in, the Chunin exams, hey, let me bow out. Now, personally, I wouldn't do that if I worked my ass off to get to a certain point, and it's like, oh, I'm not that confident, let me drop out, which, again, that asshole that Deku was about to fight kind of pointed that out, but nevertheless, it was interesting to see how Deku reacted to that, and then the motherfucker seemingly has some sort of Geass power from Code Geass, if you've ever seen the series. He talks to Deku, and Deku responds, and all of a sudden Deku is froze, and he has like this crazed look in his eyes. So, gonna be interesting to see more of this guy's quirk. I don't know if it's been revealed yet in the anime, so in case it hasn't, I won't dive into it that much. Although there was that one character that did say, I tried warning you, I tried to tell you. So it's gonna be interesting to see how Deku gets out of this one, which is gonna be more so, I'm imagining, a fight based on strategy, opposed to like if he fought Todoroki or Bakugo or even Tokoyomi, it'll be a fight of, throwing these. But with this one, if he's completely stuck based on words, Deku's going to have a hard time. So looking forward to seeing how they play this fight out. As a whole, the episode, again, it wasn't the craziest, it wasn't the best, but it was still a good episode. I mean, the information we got from those 2 conversations alone was more than enough to satisfy. I wish they would have probably carried on almost throughout the entirety of the episode, because again, there was a couple bits where we got like some of the teachers announcing shit and talking, and it's like, alright, but I'd still say the episode was at least a 6.5 to a 7, which is still pretty damn good considering there wasn't any big advancement. We just started one match, so yeah, maybe we give it the 7. The conversations enough was good enough meat to get something out of the episode. Kind of curious what you guys think about all this though. For starters, do you think Todoroki is a fool? You think he's a moron for, even though he got a beef with his pops, even though he don't want to be like his pops, and seemingly he had some tragedy in the past with his mother burning him in the face, he should still use his powers anyway to kick ass? Or you think him standing up for his morals is great and standing up for what he believes in is awesome? So yeah, he's, being a big motherfucker, so to speak. Also, what do you think about the conversation between Endeavor and All Might? Bottom line, Endeavor is bitter. Endeavor is a bitter motherfucker, and he's trying to vicariously live through his son's actions because he can never pass All Might. So All Might keep flexing on him because Endeavor is acting like a salty little bitch. And how do you think Deku's going to get out of this one? I mean, again, this is going to have to be a fight purely based on strategy if this guy is controlling him in some way based on words or having him frozen. Maybe he's freezing time or something like that. There's many possibilities. What do you think if his quirk hasn't been revealed? Because again, I'm kind of unsure if it's been, and I don't want to spoil, but guess his quirk if you want in the comment section below, and your overall thoughts of the episode. Solid episode, not the craziest in the world, but once again, you don't always need action, boy. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And Endeavour, stop being bitter. Todoroki, keep doing you. You pretty dope, bro.